BooTube. Hang on, let me fish this thing out. There you go. What else did I have to talk about with Supergirl? The season 1 finale. I forgot. Oh, well, there was one more thing I had to talk about with Supergirl. I just don't remember what it was. But like, again, the selfie stick. I'm sorry. It's like nee. But I hurt my arm. This arm right here. I heard it earlier, so I'm resting it. That's why it's still kind of tilting. And I had a sneeze attack, like literally after uploading the last video. All of a sudden, I had the worst case of the sneezes. I couldn't stop sneezing for the life of me. I thought I was gonna like not breathe. I was like, bleh. But anyway, this is my predictions based off of Supergirl season 1 finale. If you guys remember, everything was all good with all Myriad and all that stuff. And, we got, Kara and, Kara. I said Kara, huh? It's Kara or Kara? I'm just gonna say Kara. Kara and, James finally have well, it's not their first kiss, because obviously they had that, but this is the first kiss where James is not under the control of Myriad. Well, I think, wasn't it James that initiated that kiss? I believe it was James that initiated that last kiss. But anyway, in the season 1 finale, we got, Kara, her sister, I believe her sister's there. I believe also Jean was also there. Jean Jones, aka the Martian Manhunter. James, Wynn. Was there anyone else besides those 5? I don't know if there was anyone else besides those 5. I'm sorry if I'm missing somebody. I think also was Kara and Alex's mom there? I'm not sure. It's either 5 or 6 people or possibly more. I don't know, but they were having a celebration party or whatever at, I think, Kara's apartment. And all of a sudden they see something drop from the sky, and a lot of people think like a meteorite or something like a satellite or whatever. And Kara and Martian Manhunt, Supergirl and Martian Manhunter show up at the scene. And we see that the thing that fell from the sky is actually a pod, like a space pod or a spaceship. And Kara pretty much confirms our suspicions, because the moment we see the pod, it looks just like Kara's, like the one when she first came to Earth, right? And she pretty much confirms it, because when she sees it, she's all telling, like, Martian Man, well, she's technically talking to him, but she's not facing him. But she's like, it's just like mine, right? So it's like, holy crap, another Kryptonian. Obviously, it's not Superman, because Superman's already there and all that shit. So, who could it possibly be? So, the biggest question, because season 1 had its finale on a cliffhanger. And, hang on. My bad, guys. I'm watching a marathon of, Chris Knows Best? Is it Chris Knows? Yeah, Chris Knows Best, sorry. I know I have to do Chris, I can never pronounce her last name without getting tongue-tied for some stupid reason, especially on camera. But anyway, the biggest question after the season 1 finale was who the hell is in the pod? The pod is obviously Kryptonian, because it looks identical to Supergirl's, obviously. And when Kara went to open it, we end up having the camera view, like, first-person point of view. So, obviously, we are the person... when she opens the pod, our sight is basically what the person the pod's looking at, which is Kara, right? And so it becomes, like, first-person point of view in the camera. And from Kara's reaction, maybe she knew the person. I know that, Krypton can't be that small. I mean, we don't know how big Krypton is, and not everybody on Krypton could know each other. I mean, come on. But the fact that Kara seemed to know this person kind of limits our suspect pool on who could possibly be in this mysterious Kryptonian pod that just randomly landed at the end of season 1. And a lot of people are like making joke ones, like I saw in the comment section of the finale video, like there were some joke ones like, it's Crypto the dog. I was like, wow. A lot of people are putting the super pets as a joke to who they think is in the pod, which is pretty freaking funny if I'm not gonna lie to you. But like, Some people have some serious ones, like, could it possibly be that maybe one of Kara's parents might have survived the destruction of Krypton and got off on their own pod, and just like Kara, remember, keep this in mind though. Before Superman and Supergirl got off of Krypton, Clark, aka Kal-El, he was the first one to be sent off of Krypton and sent to Earth, right? Kara was second. She was sent after Kal-El. Okay? And if you guys remember, on Krypton, before they were ever touched down on Earth, Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl, she was older than Kon-El, aka Superman. But because the fact that Kal-El, Superman, he got to Earth before Kara, and when Kara was on her way to Earth, she ended up in like a deep sleep kind of thing because her pod got knocked off course, right? And she ended up in somewhat of a deep sleep. So by the time she finally reached Earth, Kal-El grew up so much that he actually surpassed his own older cousin in age. And which begs the question if it's possible that maybe Kara, in my honest opinion, when I first saw it, I thought maybe one of Kara's parents might have, survived the Kryptonian destruction. Maybe the father or the mother, more particularly the mother. I thought it might be one of Kara's parents, right? More particularly her mother, Allura. I thought maybe Allura, before the destruction, she has another pod somewhere hidden on Krypton, and she got off of Krypton with the coaxing of her dad, of the husband or something like that. And her pod might have got knocked off course just like Kara's did, and she ended up on Earth later, just like Kara did when it came to Kara and Kal-El, you know what I mean? That's my honest opinion in the beginning when I first saw it. And then it's like, or maybe it could be Kara's father, Allura's husband. Maybe he survived and did the whole pod thing, got knocked off course, years in that pod, and ends up on Earth and all that stuff, right? And then a part of me thought maybe this would be a cool time where we could actually introduce Superman's parents. Maybe one of Superman's parents got in a pod and landed on Earth. So there is 4 people I thought that possibly could be in the... At the time of the finale, there were 4 people that I thought were possible suspects on who's in the pod. Kara's mother, Allura, possibly her father, or hell, maybe Superman's parent. One of Superman's parents, so that's 4. And then as over time went, I kept thinking, maybe we might get like an interesting concept considering, especially when I heard that Supergirl has been moved to the CW. I started having different suspicions when I started having suspicions, especially taking into account when The Flash had a guest star on Supergirl. And how that happened was The Flash opened a breach and ended up on a different Earth where Supergirl was, right? And I thought of that, and then I thought of the pod, and then also I thought of the idea I had in my head was there. It's a little seed, but then it grew even more, especially when Supergirl, I heard, was renewed for season 2 and brought into CW, and I thought maybe there might be a tie-in with the Flash, maybe with the other 4, with the 4 people I already had as suspects, Kara's 2 parents, and even Superman's 2 parents, that's 4, I thought maybe, could we possibly be having someone from another Earth that's Kryptonian that shows up? Could that be a possibility? I mean, could it be possible there could be a Power Girl? That would be freaking cool, because remember, in the comic books, Power Girl is the Earth 2 equivalent to Supergirl. So Supergirl is Earth 1 in the comics. Power Girl is Earth 2. And since we introduced Flash into the Supergirl universe, that he came through a breach and ended up in Supergirl's world, which is confirmed to be another Earth, maybe, because the Flash did what he did, maybe he caused something that maybe someone else came through a breach, and we end up with another Kara? Maybe that's who's in the pod. Maybe the person in the pod could be another Earth version of Kara, aka Power Girl. That is actually possibility, considering we already been introduced to other Earths in the multiverse in the Flash, and the Flash is the one who guest starred on Supergirl, so that is open possibility, right? So, at the time the finale premiered, my 4 suspects in the pod were one of Kara's parents, either Allura or Kara's father. I put a small itty-bitty chance that maybe Superman, one of Superman's parents might be in there. Or both, you'll never know. I mean, I didn't see how big the pod is. For all we know, that pod could fit more than one person, I don't know. All we saw from Kara's pod was that one person fit in there. And also that same goes for Kal-El. But keep this in mind, Kal-El was a baby when he was sent off. You could easily squeeze like maybe a small child in there with Kal-El. I'm just saying. But now that I think about it over time, and take into the account that the superhero that guest starred on Supergirl was in fact the Flash, and the Flash is dealing with other Earths and multiverse, I have my opinion is my main suspicion is that I think that we might be seeing another Kara. I think that the person in the pod might be another Earth version of Kara who could possibly be Power Girl. I don't know. What do you guys think, okay? Like I said, when I first saw the finale of season 1 of Supergirl, I thought it might be one of the parents of either Supergirl or Superman. But again, as over time and take into account of Flash and the multiverse, I thought that maybe that pod might be holding another Kara Zor-El, aka Power Girl. So, what are your opinions? Who do you think is in that pod? Put in the comments, and for God's sake, please don't put any more joke ones, like Crypto the dog, okay? Because, I'm just gonna straight up ignore you, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna straight up ignore that. I'll be like, I'm not gonna take your ass seriously. Who do you think, living, breathing, person-wise, okay, a person, not an animal, who do you think is in the pod? Because keep this in mind, I already had my suspicions about Superboy in my Project Cadmus video. So look in the Project Cadmus video about my opinions about Superboy. But in my opinion, my honest opinion now, taking everything into account, I think the person in the pod might be a different Earth Kara Zor-El. I think it might be another Kara Zor-El from another Earth who could possibly be Power Girl. So put in the comments what you think of my opinion and your theories and all that stuff, and what do you think of my theory? Do you think it might be Power Girl inside that pod? Because Kara could be shocked, opening that pod and just seeing her own face. Seeing herself in that pod, but maybe older, because remember, Power Girl in the comics not only was the Earth 2 version of Supergirl, she was an Earth 2 version of Supergirl who was older. She was obviously older and more developed than Supergirl. So I could see Kara being shocked seeing an older, more developed version of herself inside that pod. Just saying. So anyway, what do you think of my theory? Do you agree with it? And tell me who you think is in the pod. Bye, YouTube.